Hello everybody. Today I'm going to take some time to present on having a safe spring break as we cope. My name is Mark Garza, and I am responsible for Mission High School and the Mission High School feeder patterns, which includes the elementaries and the junior highs. Other LPCs include Miss Ana Parra, who's at Mission High School, Miss Jeanette Ballesteros at Mission Collegiate High School, Alta Memorial Junior High, Cavazos Elementary, Options, and Roosevelt Alternative School. We have Maricela Ponce, who is at Veterans Memorial High School, and Christopher Cantu, who is at Veterans Memorial High School and Veterans Memorial High School feeder pattern. Again, that is elementaries and junior highs. Here are some important points that we'll be taking time to cover today. We have safety. This includes video game safety, internet, and home safety. Dealing with grief, loss, or stress, how to cope, and some activities you can do safely over spring break. Let us begin with video game and internet safety. Now I know video games are very popular with you guys. When surfing the web or gaming, you must remember these important safety tips. So number one, you want to be smart with your passwords. This allows you to keep your information private, allows you to have your own personal accounts. You also want to be careful with what you post. You don't want to post too much personal information that gives about your whereabouts or information like I'm home alone. Always keep these things in mind. Also, when you post, do not post anything you would regret. These can always be looked up online, even though they've been deleted. Don't send pictures or video chat with strangers. This is very important, and we'll cover this in more detail. We put together a list of signs that people may be dangerous online or on video game chats. Number one, if they ask to talk to you in private, this might be an individual you met on a game or met in a chat room, public chat room, and all of a sudden they're asking you to talk and have a conversation that can't be heard by others or can't be monitored by an adult. They may ask a lot of personal questions. Where do you live? How many family members do you have? They may always agree with you, and they even may try to make you feel special. They may tell you things like, you are very beautiful, you are very handsome, you are amazing. Now, these things may be true, but you must remember, they're using this in order to gain your trust, in order to make you feel good. Their interest in you might be a harmful reason. They stalk you online, so you might see them in one video game, name to the next, and they're there too. And all of a sudden, they're friend requesting you on Facebook. They ask you to video chat or send pictures. Okay, this should automatically say danger. You want to run this by your parents. You want to let them know what's going on. You do not want to, have a video chat or send pictures if they are complete strangers and you have doubts. They ask you to keep your relationship a secret. Now, if they ask you to keep your relationship a secret, that must mean that they're going to get in some type of trouble for this relationship. So always keep that in mind. Always be open if you have any questions with the adults around you, your parents, the ones you trust, and ask plenty of questions in regards to this. And they may ask you to meet in person. So once this happens, you definitely want to remember they are probably out to do some form of harm. You want to get with your parents. You want to block this person. You want to make sure that you're safe. Your safety is number one priority. Here's some other things to avoid. So you want to avoid over the break staying at home alone. Now you can choose to stay with a family friend or another family member. The reason this becomes more dangerous during spring break is that most people are off. Most people are out and about on the street. You also want to try not to be outside alone or without permission. It's very important that anytime you leave the home, anytime you go somewhere, you let your parents know, because if anything was to happen to you, at least they know something might be going on, they can check in on you and so forth. And you want to avoid risky behaviors, unsafe situations, or thoughts. So this can be any kind of behavior that can cause you some kind of mental harm, physical harm. Keep that in mind if it looks dangerous, do your best to avoid that situation. Then we have strangers. Again, we talked about earlier the types of strangers you may run into online, but there's also strangers that can be outside your home, trying to find information or trying to see what homes are easier to target. So if you notice anybody suspicious around your home, especially if you're home alone, please call your parent, please call somebody you trust and report this. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't go outdoors. Actually, spring break is a great time to get outdoors and catch up on your rest. Here are some of the reasons we tend to stay indoors during the week. Video games, YouTube, social media, virtual learning. Outdoors is very important and it plays a crucial role in our lives. Did you know that going outdoors and exposing yourself to the sun can help you sleep better? It can also increase your overall health by getting the vitamins you need. So you guys try to be more active this spring break, try to get outdoors, but do so safely, with permission and monitored if possible. We included some safe ideas to have fun during spring break. So these include going to the park, having a camp out in the backyard. Maybe you can set up an obstacle course in the backyard for you and your friends and family. A water balloon fight. It's supposed to be hot, so going outside, having a good time, being active, using those water balloons to cool down. You can make a fort. You can ride your bikes and your skateboards. You can also play sports. Maybe you want to learn a new sport. Maybe you want to get better at a sport you already play. And then, of course, if all else fails, just turn on those sprinklers and take a run through them. A lot of us are looking forward to this break. It is really needed. Because, oh boy, what a year we're having. So much has happened to all of us in this last year. We started with a pandemic. That really shifted how we went to school, the things we were able to do. And then we had virtual learning how to go to school online, all the new things you boys and girls had to learn. And you guys are doing a great job. We had a hurricane. We had a winter storm that left some of us without light, some of us without water, even ruined some of our foods. And we had, of course, the loss experienced from all these events. There are many other things that you guys might have also experienced this year. When you experience a loss, you feel grief. These are reasons that we feel grief. Loss of a family member, a friend, or important individual in your life. Loss of a routine or important part of your life. Now, this can also include things such as moving schools, or maybe moving to a different city, having to make new friends. And then, of course, there's family problems or divorce. All these things can be a reason that we feel grief. Grief. So what kind of feelings do we feel when we have grief? Well, you can feel very sad. And it's not just sad, it's a much deeper sadness than a regular sadness. You can feel angry, like, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to us? You can feel anxiety or stress. This gets really difficult. It starts feeling harder to do some things and concentrate on the things you used to concentrate on. You may even start not liking certain things you liked before. Then you have worry. You start worrying about your future or the future of your loved ones. Then possibly depressed. Now, just because you're experiencing grief doesn't mean you're going to be in depression, but it can lead to it. And then, of course, you may also feel confused or lost. You may be asking yourself, boys and girls, is this normal? Is it normal to feel grief? And the answer is, grief is a normal response, especially when the loss was unexpected. That means we didn't know what was going to happen. So what can we do? Or, how can we manage this grief? Here are some pointers to help you manage your grief. Number 1, ask for help. A lot of people might tell you asking for help is a sign of weakness. Oh no, you can't do it by yourself. The truth is, boys and girls, when you're struggling, asking for help is actually a sign of strength. Create a new way of honoring that person or event. You might do this by creating a new ritual with you and your family. Maybe you want to do something with arts and crafts that helps remember that person the way that you choose to remember them. Time. Now, nobody should tell you you'll feel better in a year or a month. Nobody knows that. This is something you have to go through at your own pace. And sometimes it may take time. What is most important is you connect. Speak to others you trust about it. If you find yourself experiencing grief, remember, speaking to others is very important. Expressing your thoughts and feelings. If you don't feel comfortable reaching out to a family member, then you can try a school counselor, you can try a teacher, any adult that you trust and that you know. But if you're not ready yet to turn to adults, there are other ways to express your thoughts and your feelings. A few of those examples are, maybe you can start a journal. Maybe you can tell stories of your loved one, or making a thankful jar. Now, after this step, now you feel a little bit more prepared to go to an adult or a professional and talk about your feelings. You may explore your feelings. Maybe you're learning how to identify them, noticing where you feel them in your body. If you have a headache or a stomach ache, are you nervous? Are you sad? And then you can explain them using different sizes or shapes or colors. And then you have exploring behaviors. Once you know your behaviors, the way you act when you feel these things, you can make a plan during tough situations. Maybe create even a calm space in your home so you can go there when you don't feel so well. We also included other spring break relaxation activities or ideas. So here are some ideas. Create a comfort box. Maybe you want to do photography. Maybe you want to plant a garden. Maybe this is a good time to train your dog. You can also jump rope, hopscotch. You can do arts and crafts, have a board game day, have a movie night in your backyard or indoors, fly a kite, create a comic book or a story with friends. We also included some other activities that can be used as a distraction. Now, distractions aren't always positive. If you have a task to complete or you're working on something, you want to avoid distractions. But when you're not feeling well, when you feel sad or angry, distractions can actually be helpful. You want to take time, maybe 10-15 minutes, to engage in them. So let's say you're not feeling well. Let's say you can't stop thinking about something and it's bothering you. You can go play board games, card games, word searches, tic-tac-toe, make a comic strip, write some knock-knock jokes, even plan for future events, like I'm gonna travel here, this is what I wanna see. Creativity, you can build with Legos and invent something. And you'll find after you do this for about 10-15 minutes, you might feel a little bit more calm. You might feel a little bit more ready to approach whatever's going on. Here are some other things you can do to relax during spring break. These are called coping tools. Use these to help yourself feel a little bit better and deal with some things. Number one is deep breathing. Very important, boys and girls. When you take a deep breath, it sends a sign to your brain that tells your body to relax. There's also using your imagination. Maybe this spring break you didn't get to go to your favorite spot. You didn't get to go to the beach. So what you would do is you use your imagination. Close your eyes. Imagine what the sand feels like between your toes, the sun feels like, the warmth on your body, and what the beach might smell like. The sounds you would experience there. Then we have grounding techniques. These help you to stay present in the moment. Let's say you feel really stressed or really nervous. If you are in a room, you can say, I want to name all the blue things in the room. And you identify all the blue things in the room. Now, once you do this, you might find that you're not thinking as much about that stressful event as you were at that moment. And then we have mindfulness and meditation. I say use your spidey senses because we use all our senses when we use mindfulness. Now, let's say you're eating a snack. You want to pay attention to, let's say it's Sour Patch, how sweet it is and then how sour it gets. How the texture of it is. Can you feel the little grains of sugar? What does it smell like while you're eating? All this will help you feel more relaxed after you're done with these little tasks. I hope this helps you, boys and girls, but more importantly, some of the things we covered today was being safe. Safety is your priority. Make sure, if you don't feel safe or you have any doubts, to turn to an adult you trust in your life to report anything that you can to them. Be active. This spring break, be safe, but you also want to be outdoors. You want to get active. Get out of your dark room, get out of the video games, and go outside and enjoy the outdoors. You also want to get some rest. Maybe you haven't been sleeping well. This is a good time to catch up on that rest, readjust your sleep schedule. Maybe you can go to bed a little bit earlier, get off the video games a little bit earlier. And then you also have things to cope. We talked about some things that might help you cope with grief, stress. And then we have some activities that would also help with that, and also some activities you can do for fun. We really want you all to enjoy your spring break and enjoy your time off. But if you guys have anything that you need to talk about or you don't feel well, we are all here for you. You are never alone. You can reach out to a school counselor, a teacher, a trusted adult, and if you do not feel like speaking to them, we provide all these phone numbers that have live professionals answering the phone that you can talk to as well. If you guys need any assistance, please reach out to us. Enjoy your spring break, have a safe spring break, and we look forward to having you all return. Thank you.